Hey guys, what's up, it's jjaaxxthelegend here. Today, I'm on the Minecraft Redstone tutorial. In this week's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a super simple and compact Minecraft Redstone multi-floor elevator. So let's go and have a look at it inside of my Minecraft sort of mansion slash tower slash modern build thingy. So let's go. So if I walk in here, you can see I've got my Lectern, which is because I'm in the new 1.14 update. You need to be in this update to build this. Or you can just replace the Lectern with a block, and then once you update your world, you can place a Lectern there. I've also got a bit of my redstone showing, and a giant fish aquarium. Now, to select my floor, I can open this, and I can read the instructions. Please select your floor by flipping the pages. So say I want to go to my enchanting room, I can press that button, then click done, and then go all the way up, and you can see, I'm at my enchanting room. I can enchant my stuff, go down, and then I'm like, hey, I wanna chill for a little bit. So I might go to my living room. So I select there, go all the way up. But then I wanna go to my rooftop aquarium. So you can have as many things as you want here, but it's only a one way, so you have to make a little drop down hole here. So I can head up to my rooftop aquarium where I've got all my turtles, my fish, and my dolphins. Now that you have seen this selectable compact redstone elevator in action on my build world, it's time to head over to my redstone flat world so you can see the redstoning behind this. Now I am in my super awesome redstone flat world with my farms, my silo, and those sort of things, and Wild's little bunny hut, because Wild came onto this world and was like, it's too desolate, I want it to be more pretty, so she made a few little bunny huts around the place. And behind me, we have the elevator that I was showing you in the overworld. If I up out of F5 mode, you can see all the redstoning is behind it. And it's pretty compact, most of it is underground. You've got a bit behind it, which is only legit, just 2 blocks wide, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks deep, so it's really not that deep, and it's super easy to cover up. You can just put this in your wall. And you're probably wondering, but Jax, what is this bit down here? You've got a whole bunch of repeaters, comparatives, redstone. Just what is it? And it's just like, what is this? Well, I'm going to quickly fly over to my area over there where I'm going to show you what all these comparatives do and how this whole Lectern system works. So let's go do that. Okay, so what we have over here is all the different ways you can use a Lectern using a comparator and how comparators work using the subtract mode. So if I open my Lectern here, you can see I've got 15 pages, because that means every one page I turn gives a redstone output. So 1 gives a redstone output of 1, 2, 2, and then if I head all the way up to, if I actually get an angle, you can see all the pistons going up and all of them going down. Just like that, as I flip the pages. And because I've got a comparator there, but if I didn't, you can see 1 would not power anything, but 2, when you flip the page, it gives out a quick redstone pulse, which I'm pretty sure is a 1-tick pulse, which could definitely be useful in redstone builds. This system is great for if you want each and every one to go up as you flip through the pages. But for an elevator, when number 2 is activated, we want number 1 to be deactivated. But when number 3 is activated, we want number 1 and 2 to be deactivated, and so on. That's why we have to use a different system to deactivate and activate the pistons. You can expand this system up to 15 levels because you can use all the 15 levels of redstoning, but let me explain to you how this works. This is a comparator turned onto subtraction mode. No, it's not just called it's like turned on or the beepy DP light is on. It's actually called the subtraction mode, which means if I've got a redstone current going through here that has a strength, let's see what the strength is. I'm pretty sure that has a strength of 15 because it's just coming out of there, and another redstone current going into the side of that, well, the comparator, while it's on subtraction mode, that has the same strength, it will let out no redstone current because it's subtracting 15 from 15. But if it subtracts 14 from 14, let me just grab this, you can see it leaves me 1 redstone current. So you can bring this out quite a few blocks, and then I will power my piston just. But if I head any further, you can see my redstone line stops right there. And that's the sort of mechanics that I have used in this NOT gate. So this repeater here is powering this NOT gate, not this comparator, which is powering this repeater, which is then powering this piston. But then when this piece of redstone dust gets turned on, it powers this comparator, but also subtracts the power from this comparator. So this comparator here can't power this piston, but it can power this one, because this one would be turned off. And then when it moves on to here, it does the same, but it doesn't need an extra comparator here, because we haven't got the one next to it. Okay, now that I've shown you all about the comparators, the lecterns, and how these comparator NOT gates work, you can clearly see behind me that we've got one of those comparator NOT gates here. And then they're feeding into this redstone chain, which is going into these torch towers. Now you might be wondering, Jax, why are you using redstone repeater redstone? You're using so many more things than you should. Well, I'm actually not, because you don't want any of these redstone currents to combine. So you need to make sure no redstone is directly touching by a block next to it. So if I replace this repeater here with a piece of redstone, you can see it's connected. So if this powers on, this one will also power on, which is not what we want. So that's why I have this checkered system. So only one row powers on at a time, as you can see. So if I now go from page 3 to say, let's go page 4, which should bring me up to the 4th story. 1, 2, 3, 4, up to there. No, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to here where I shall place a block. Let me know. I'll place some stone. So I should be going up to this level here. Then go into my bubble column elevator, and I'm up here. And as you can see, the 4th row, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th row here, the blue row, is powering these redstone torches, which are then going all the way up here, blocking off these bubble columns, so you hit your head on that block, and then when I unpower it, the piston will get retracted, and then these two waters in the stairs will create an infinite water source. So now, I've shown you that, let's get on to building this magnificent elevator. Okay, to start the tutorial, you're going to need a book and quill, some glass, or some building blocks, depending on what you're building that out of, the giant tube, a lectern, and one redstone comparator. So, create a little tube like this out of the building block, so it's got one high, and has one block in the middle. Then build an extra 3 on top of each one of these sides, so you should have a 4 high tube. And then at the front, break these 2 blocks here and add a roof in. So you've got a 3 high roof. So this is going to be your room. And then do this on the top, but you can just build 4 straight on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 on every side, including the front. Break these 2. Or if you're building this out of glass and you're in survival and don't want to waste that, you could just place, say, like building blocks here. That isn't. Place some wood there, and then you can place your glass against that, so you don't waste your glass. Then you need to add in your roof here. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to be doing this until I hit 7 stories, if you count this one as a 1, or 6 if you count it as 0. So let's go do that. Okay, I have now built my 7 stories, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 story high thing. And at the very top here, make sure you fill in this block here. So you bump your head straight here, and then you can walk out, so we don't have to use that extra piston for the very top layer. Because otherwise, if you do the whole thing, you'll get stuck here and have to swim down, which is not very pleasant. So you need to fill that in. So now if we come right down here to the very bottom, walk to the left edge of our giant column, count 3 blocks out, 1, 2, 3, then count 2 blocks to the side, 1, 2, and then on that block you're standing now, place the lectern like so. Then open your book and put at the very front page, please select your floor, or the floor. Put this by flipping the pages, or anything you want at the front. You don't even have to put this, you can put just select floor. On the next one, you want to put 1, and then maybe, or you could just put, say, enchanting room, but you need to put something here. So I'll just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you want to do this until you get to page 15 and number 14. So page 15, number 14. Then you want to click done, and then place this book in the lectern so you can just flip through the pages. And then, directly behind the selector, place a comparator which should instantly get powered on, like that. So now it's time to do a bit of redstoning and dig out a hole. Okay, now that you've done that, dig out a 9x9 hole that is 3D. Now this is a very big hole, but it can be easily covered up in your build. It can be directly under your floorboards, so that's awesome. And it's not directly behind this, like as in the corners right here, or the middle is. This lectern is 3 blocks in, 1, 2, 3. And this corner here of our tube is floating at the moment, but we'll be covering this up using blocks. So dig out a 9x9 hole in that position there. Then, you want to clear all your stuff in your inventory. Grab out some redstone dust, some building blocks. Let's use some concrete. Let's use some lime concrete, some comparators, and some repeaters. Then, come down here and place a block directly in front of this comparator. Then a block, 1 block underneath it, like that. Then place a redstone piece on that block. You can see it is automatically powered on because this comparator is powered because we're on the first page. Then come diagonal to the side, which is furthest away from the wall. Place a piece of redstone on that block. And then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more pieces of redstone over until you hit the very edge. Then in front of all of those 5 pieces of redstone, place the repeaters. And in front of this very last block, place a repeater there. So now if I flick to the second page, which is floor number 1, this first repeater gets powered on. Once you've done that, place a redstone comparator in front of this first repeater, and then create sort of like a diagonal line of comparators until you hit the wall. And then your last comparator here you don't need, so you can break that one. Then you want to turn all of these comparators on by right clicking them. Then place a piece of redstone dust next to each one of these comparators. Then a repeater next to each one of those redstone dust. And you also need to place one up here. Repeater. Then redstone dust. Repeater. And redstone dust. So now what you've got here is the full NOT gate of the comparator NOT gate. Oh, this one's not turned on to subtract mode. So now if I head over to number 3, you can see this one lets out a current, but this one doesn't. So that is perfectly working, and we are ready to move on to the next thing. Let me just put these back to page number 1. Okay, for the next bit, you're going to need just some redstone dust and some repeaters. And I like to use a bunch of different color blocks for each layer, as you can see here. First layer is white, second layer is orange, and it goes like that all the way down, so all the redstoning. So this is redstoning for the very last layer. So I find that very easy, and you might want to do that, but you don't have to do color blocks. You could use dirt and wood and another type of wood or cobble. So you can use different blocks and they don't have to actually be colored like this. Okay, so now that you've got those blocks, those repeaters, and some redstone dust, place one type of block in front of each and every comparator. You don't need to place one there in front of this repeater redstone. Just like that. Then go to this white one, place another 2 blocks to the side, and then line up the orange ones and the magenta ones and all of the colors with this line, like so. It's kind of like a rainbow, it's pretty cool. And then place a piece of redstone dust on all of these blocks, then a repeater, then redstone dust, then repeater, then redstone dust, and finally repeaters, and then finally one more piece of redstone dust. Then place 1 block diagonally up in front of each of these colors, so white, orange, magenta, light blue, and yellow concrete. So if I go to page 4, you can see the 4th row is on, page 5, the 5th row is on, and page 6. None of them are on, because that is the layer that we are going to hit the top. So your very top layer, you do not need one of these giant torch towers. Okay, for this next bit, all you're going to need are your sticky pistons. Now, these have to be sticky pistons because they need to have a block on them. But don't worry, you don't use that many because you only use them for each floor. So I'd be using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because I don't need to use one for the top and this very bottom sort of floor. So now, come inside of your giant tube and then go up to your first floor or your second floor, depending whether that's 0 or 1. Let's make that 0, so this is the first floor. And then right above your head, when you're in the tube, place a piston here, one block back, so you might actually have to go out some building blocks to do this. And then place a piece of glass on, so when that extends, it actually blocks off your way to get to the other floors, and you bump your head here. So you want to do that on each one of these, but I'm actually going to do this from outside now. So you want to go 1, 2, 3. You want to count 3 up from that last piston. Place another sticky piston. If I can. Which I can't. Then you want to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. As long as you count up 3, you'll be in the correct position. 1, 2, 3. I think that should be the last piston, is it? Yes it is. Awesome. So now you want to break all your scaffolding like so. And then we're good to do some of the redstone torches. Let's go with this. Okay, for this next bit, you're going to need all your colored blocks. So you might use cobblestone, dirt, like I said before, all of them. Some redstone torches and some redstone dust. So some very low sort of material items for this one. So you want to place a redstone torch on every single one of these. Then place a block on top of them, like this. Then place more redstone torches on every single one, and these should instantly get powered off. Then you want to continue this torch tower up until you're at a stage like this. I'll show you when you need to stop. You need to stop when this torch is right above, as you can see, is right under the block that is next to this piston. So that means if I go on to number 1, which is the layer I'm working on now, you can see this piston is extended and will block me off. Now I'm going to flip pages to page number 2, so now we can work on the second one. So now if I add all of these rows, redstone torches except for the white one, because the white one is now finished. All of these colors, redstone torches. And then you get to a predicament where you're like, what do I do here? This redstone torch is not going to power here. Do I go like this? Do I add it like that? There's multiple ways you can do this, but I think the simplest is just to place a block next to this redstone torch with a block on top of it, and then place a piece of redstone dust there, which will automatically power that. So now we're now done white and orange. It's time to move on to number 3. Or not 4, 3, which is the magenta. So if I add in all of these rows now, keep on building this up. It's very, very repetitive, but it's super simple because of its repetitiveness. And you want to do the same thing you did with the orange, but actually lead your redstone into the piston, like that, to make sure there's a block on top of it. Then I'm going to flip over to the next page. Now you don't have to flip over to the next page if you're pretty confident with it, but I'm doing it just to make sure my whole system's working and that my pistons are getting powered. So now we're done with magenta. We just have these two bad boys to work on. Then we can go like this. When you're at a stage where you reckon you can connect it up, which is at level with it, do the same thing like you did on the orange, just hook it up. Now you might be wondering, Jax, why have you got it one to the side of these pistons and not directly behind them? Well, I found that there's a problem with that because this torch, where is it? If I build these two up, you can see this one of these right here. So that one powers that. That's all good. That's all good. Then if this one up here, oh, there's Villager there. This one up here, if it powers, it'll also power that one. So if this one's selected, it'll also power this piston as well as the other one. So that's not what we want. So that's why we can't do it straight next to it. But it is still really compact, being only 2 blocks wide. So now that we've done that, we want to just do the yellow one, coming back. And it's pretty simple again, just go up till here. Oh, and because I haven't flipped the page of the redstone torch, won't be powered on. And the redstone torch should always be powered off if you haven't got the page flipped to the right one. So now if I go to number 5, which is our second last layer, you can see the piston gets extended. And then if I go to page number 6, which is our very last one, we can fly straight up to the top with no pistons being in our way. Now, if you come back down here and you can go as fast as you want through these, it doesn't mess up the redstoning at all. Go to the first page here, you see that it's actually hooked up to be the very top story. So if you don't select a page, you'll go straight up to the top. Now this is a one-way elevator, so you will have to build a sort of drop hole here with some water at the end, but I really don't think it's that big of an issue considering how fast you go up here. So, now we've got the finishing touches, which is adding in the water and the signs. So let's do that. Okay, to add in the water, you are going to need soul sand, a spruce sign, a water bucket, and some quartz stairs. And with the soul sand, you want to come to the bottom here and replace this bottom block with your soul sand. Then you want to either come one block out on each side, like so at the bottom, or place a sign on one of the sides like this. And then you want to place signs so it blocks off the water source from flowing out. So you can use either signs here or blocks, whichever one you prefer. Or you could use fence gates here. You can just go like that and place some fence gates in. There are multiple ways of doing it. So I'm going to be doing signs on this layer. So full on signs, no blocks. So I'm going to go up and do some fence gates. Not fabricates, fence gates. Fabricate sounds like some sort of cool redstone door. Fabricate. Then we have our fence gates, and then I'm going to just do some plain old signs on the side of some blocks. Like that. And you want to do this all the way up, so I'm going to do more fence gates because I like them. So there's really many ways you can do it. You can even do it with a regular door if you want. So I'm going to do that one at the very top, at the second top layer. And at the very top, I can't place it on this, so I'll have to make this a solid block. Because doors can't go on glass. And at the very top, are there any other ways you can do this? You can maybe do a trapdoor, that might be a bit annoying. I don't think there are. But I'm going to use a trapdoor anyway. So you could use a trapdoor if you want. Maybe. So let's place this glass here. Place our trapdoors. So yeah, you've got a little sort of cabin type entrance that you could use. So now that we've placed all those doors in, you want to come to the level of your pistons and break the 2 blocks to the sides. Place stairs on both sides. Now, you might want to go inside to do this. You want to make sure that there are no blocks to the side that haven't been placed with like glass or anything, because you want to make sure they are covered so the water that we're going to place in these stairs do not flow out. So now you need to do this on each piston. So replace these air blocks with glass. A bit hard sometimes. And then boink boink. Next one. You just want to do this all the way up and then clap, because you don't have to do it at the top because there's no piston. Okay, all the stairs are placed, and now it's time to place the water. Now there are 2 ways you can place the water. You can either place the water on every single one of these blocks, because each one has to be a solid water block, because otherwise if it's flowing, you can see the column doesn't head all the way up. The bubbles that stop there. So you need it to be a solid water block. Or you can do this little trick that I learned, where you go up to your very top floor. You can do this by building or flying if you're in creative. Place your water, and as it flows down, just run to the bottom and replace this block with a block that kelp can grow on. Then place kelp in here, all the way to the very top. And then break the bottom of it, and boom, all of these are now solid water blocks. None of it is pushing down. So if I now replace this with soul sand really quickly, so the water doesn't escape, I will go straight up to my top floor because I don't have a floor selected. I'd just like to point out that you have to have 2 trapdoors here, because otherwise you get a giant water stream coming out and all your redstoning gets destroyed. So you need to have 2 trapdoors here. And you can even leave them open, which looks pretty cool. Okay, so now we are actually almost completely done. We only need to grab our water buckets, come up here, and place water in each one of these stairs. Just like this. Let's double check you've got all of these stairs with water in them. Make sure you've got the blocks around them so the water doesn't flow out, and then you're actually done. Now, you can select your floor. I'm going to go up to floor 3. Then I'll go 1, 2, 3. my fence gate floor. So that goes 0, 1, 2, 3. And then say I want to go, I want to go up to floor number 6. So let's go. And boom, I'm up there. It's super quick, and you can make this at super high. You can make this 14 levels, which is a lot of floors. Okay, so there you have a compact, super simple, and super fast water elevator. Now, if you would like to see a larger version of this, but that also swaps out the block for magma, make sure to leave a comment down in the description down below. That is going to be the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and remember to sub it up or subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate your support, and thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. So, I'm going to see you guys later. Peace. Oh, and remember, stay carbonated.